Over the years, we've been approached by a lot of self-storage developers, especially when residential stalled. Every time housing got harder, self-storage looked stronger. Institutional capital flowed in for a while, and it felt like the billionaires of real estate were self-storage. The margins were clean, the construction was simple. No kitchens, no bathrooms, no tenant protections. I was curious about it from a distance, but I never leaned in. The Mamdani Administration sued Extra Space Storage for more than $5 million. So I read the 2026 complaint. What I found explained more than legal dispute. It explained the entire inertia economy of the entire industry. The lawsuit was filed by the New York City Department of Consumer and Worker Protection. They are calling it a classic bait and switch. The city reviewed 117 special complaints. Here is the math that triggered the lawsuit. One unit went from $120 to $320 within a year. Another went from $290 to $479 in just 3 months. Another went from $137 to $564 after repeated increases. The city alleges these increases happen without 30-day notice. But it goes deeper than just rent levels. The complaint alleges that when customers disputed fees, facilities used access as leverage. Units were allegedly locked before rents were even due. Customers were threatened with auctions. Think about that. The threat of selling off a lifetime of belongings to pressure someone into paying disputed late fees. Then there is the condition of the units. The complaints cite more than 1,000 counts of deceptive marketing around clean and pest-free facilities. Meanwhile, customers reported rats destroying children's clothes, mold running family heirlooms. The legal claims is deceptive trade practices, but economically it reveals something structural. Now, let's separate the business model from the alleged conduct. In New York City today, a 10 by 10 unit in the outer boroughs runs roughly $260 to $320 per month, and a per square foot basis that is about $250 to $450 per square foot. Residential in the outer boroughs run roughly $375 to $550 per square foot. Think about that comparison. Storage can capture about 80% of the rent of a luxury apartment per square foot, with zero plumbing. The lawsuit is not saying that $320 is illegal. It is saying that the path to get there, the low entry rate followed by rapid increases once your belongings are behind the law, can cross into deception. A few years ago, I helped a friend clean out a unit. It held inventory from his family's old import-export business. When the retail store closed, they put everything into storage. It was supposed to be a temporary fix, but the rent kept creeping up. $20 here, $40 there. By the time we opened up the door, the smell of rats was overwhelming. Years of inventory, records, garments, history. It was shredded paper and mold. Standing there, I realized something. Storage units are frozen decisions. They represent deferred write-offs. They represent people who are not ready to let go of a past version of themselves. The business model of self-storage does not just monetize square footage, it monetizes hesitation. When a rent jumps from $150 to $400, that is not just a market adjustment. For the customer, it feels like a tax on their inability to move on. That is why the politics get seeded. It's not just math, it's memory. So where does this go? This lawsuit feels like an opening salvo. In August of 2026, a new law takes effect. Local Law 171 will require every self-storage facility in New York City to be licensed by the Department of Consumer and Worker Protection. For decades, storage operated with minimal oversight. That era is ending. The signal from the city is clear. If you want to operate here, you will be regulated. My view is that the model survives, but the infinite margin days are likely over. If operators must provide longer notices for fee changes and cannot rely on auction threats as a collection tool, yield management becomes less aggressive. So, why did we never build self-storage? It was not because the returns were not there. They were. It came down to alignment. We build places, mixed-use environments, streets with life. Self-storage is urbanistically inert. It is a windowless box. It does not activate a sidewalk. It does not put eyes on the street. It turns prime land into filling cabinets for frozen decisions. Financially, it can be brilliant. But the question for us was never just does it pencil. The question was, what are we leaving behind? If you are an investor in this space, watch this lawsuit closely. It may mark the golden era for storage in New York. Curious how you see it. Is this overreach? Or is it a necessary check on high friction pricing? Let me know.